Hello everyone, welcome to part 16, module 1, computer networks. So we were discussing so far, so please don't come to a particular video directly. So before watching this, you must watch the previous videos, then only you will get the flow. I'm just continuing, I'm just dividing time like some 15 to 20 minutes. I'm continuing the discussion. So in the previous case, we already seen how this layering is done. Now what about the interface, and what about layer n protocol, and layer header and trailer information. That is a summary of the previous video. Now when it comes to something called the interface, that we already seen, like between two layers we will provide an interface. Actually that interface is where the lower layers are means the higher layers are getting the services of the lower layer, so that service will just be noted down in the interface, but the implementation the higher layer is not supposed to know. Simply it will get the service by accessing that particular function, just by calling using the name of the particular service. Okay, so that will be, so the same concept, the Java interface, that only. So between each pair of adjacent layers we have this interface. The interface defines which primitive operation and services the lower layer makes available to the upper one. So by looking at the interface, upper layer will be understanding what are all the primitive operation or services the lower layer is ready to provide to it. And implementation it don't know. Okay, so that is how it provides abstraction, right? When network designers decide how many layers to include in a network, and what each one should do, one of the most important consideration is defining a clean interface between the layers. So that is very important. Once you finalize what are all the functionality this particular layer is supposed to do, and how it is to be implemented, everything, so you have to make your interface clear, so that by looking at the interface only the higher layer is trying to communicate with you, or trying to take services from you. So that has to be clearly defined. Once you define the interface clearly, that implementation of actual services being defined in the interface can be done differently, right, from one network design to another. That implementation may vary, but mostly we will try to keep the interface correct, same. So doing so in turn requires that each layer performs a specific collection of well understood function, and that is globally known or standardized. So in addition to minimizing the amount of information that must be passed between layers, the clear-cut interface also make it simpler to replace one layer with a completely different protocol or implementation. So this is what I am trying to say. One benefit we are getting is, let me take the pen so that I can highlight the points. Again the width is a problem, we need thin. Okay, fine. Okay, so one thing is like it minimize the amount of information that must be passed between the layer, in the sense the lower layer it is looking at the interface, and where the things where the primitive operation and services were listed in a brief way, and look at it, decide whether you want or not. If you want, just call that only. So the whole thing you don't have to take from lower layer. Whatever things the higher layer want, that only specifically it can make a call and it will be taking. So that is one benefit. In addition to that, the clear-cut interfaces also make it simpler to replace. Once you define the interface correctly and you implemented it, at some later point you thought of implementing it using a completely different protocol or implementation, that is still possible. For example, so far things were in the lower layer, it is defined by using a telephone line, and you thought of replacing it with satellite channel. The implementation will be different, but in the interface becomes same. So you just have to change that particular lower layer which is concerning this without modifying the higher layer. The higher layer will still get the service from the lower layer as the interface is not changed. So because all that is required of the new protocol or implementation is that it offer exactly the same set of services to its upstairs neighbors as old, means what you promised already, that you are still providing, but the implementation now you change it. Okay, so such a flexibility will be added when it comes to a clear-cut definition of the interface. So it is common that different hosts use different implementation of the same protocol, often written by different companies, of course. In fact, the protocol itself can change in some layers without the layers above and below it or even noticing. So this is the same concept only, without and means the other layers may not even aware about the fact that you change the protocol inside. You go on with the new technology and only modified it, but the other layers are just not affected at all. So that is the scenario. So that about interface. Now the some other terminologies like network architecture, protocol stack, these things we already seen also, but again a glimpse of it. So a set of layers and protocols is called network architecture. So what you have to understand is network architecture is something that we are using in a general sense. It constitutes both the concept of layering and the protocols say associated with each layering. So together we call it as a network architecture. So the specification of an architecture must contain enough information to allow an implementer to write the program or build the hardware for each layer so that it will correctly obey the appropriate protocol. So in that, the specification of the architecture is just like whenever you are defining a software, you are having a model of it, right? So by looking at the model, it should be easy for the implementer to implement because everything is clearly mentioned in our specification of the network architecture. So the implementer just write the program for implementing it by following the appropriate protocol. So neither the details of the implementation nor the specification of the interfaces is part of the architecture. Architecture in the sense that design part or the model part. So how the things are implemented or what about the specification of the interface, that is not something the architecture is to be concerned. So architecture is a kind of blueprint or a model with which we are going to the actual implementation. So as part of architecture, you don't have to add the implementation details or the more specification of the protocols. So a list of protocols used by a certain system on protocol per layer, and together we call it as a protocol stack, like what we already seen. Every layer is communicating with the corresponding layer at the other end using that particular layer protocol. So layer n is communicating layer n of the sender communicating with the layer n of receiver using layer n protocol. Similarly, we have layer n minus 1, layer n minus 2. So together all these protocols defines the protocol stack of it. So we have network architecture, protocol stack as two different concepts. So our network architecture is kind of a model or blueprint of the entire thing, and with which we can go for the implementation, and implementation details, everything is not part of it, and protocol stack is the collection of protocols together, we call it so. And so the example of information flow supporting the virtual communication in layer 5. So actually we are trying to have the communication, virtual communication, the term you have to be clear because it is not physical communication. Physical communication is always at the layer 1 level only. When you are looking at top layer, the kind of communication they are having is virtual communication. In that there is no physical direct media involved. Okay. So layer 5 is interacting with layer 5 of the receiver using layer 5 protocol, similarly layer 4 protocol, layer 3 protocol, layer 2 protocol, and finally layer 1 to layer 1 it is communicating using the physical media, right? Physical media. Now as I already told you, they are taking an example where when layer 5 is passing that information as a whole, say we can call it as a message into layer 4, and layer 4 add its own header. So this is a layer 4 header. I told you what is the information in this header, and the additional information, kind of control information. By looking at this layer 4 header, the same fourth layer at the receiver side will understand what are all the things that is made by layer 4 of at the sender side. Okay, so it is just a briefing of it. For example, if it is done some encryption, what is the encryption algorithm used, what is the key, the compression, what is the compression technique used, everything. By using that information, it can do the operations in a reverse way. Okay, and flow control, what is the flow control algorithm used, and like that many things will be there. The error, what kind of error detection algorithm, CRC reminder, if it is that particular layer is doing CRC checking, like that many things will be there in the header. So just an example. Now layer 4 passed that message appended with the header together to layer 3. At layer 3 what happened is, the message is being splitted into two messages. Why it is so? Because every layer may not be handle that message as a whole. So sometimes you want to split it. This is how this layer is supposed to work. So this m1 plus m2 together makes this whole thing, okay. And this is being divided into m1 and m2. Now additionally we appended, of course only that message is divided. This header 4 is okay, what happened? Yes, header 3 is additionally added. Okay, so this header 4 and header 4 and this m1, some division of m, that is what we call as m1, is coming to this particular packet. And as header 4 came here, you don't have to repeat it again. Header 3 is something that you are newly adding, that you have to add with both the packets, okay. And the remaining part of this whole message is at this here, and this is what is communicated here. And finally from these two, by looking at header 3, it will do all the process in reverse, and it will remove this header 3. So every layer, when is handing over that information to the higher layer, it will remove the header till that, okay. And only this header 4 will be given to the higher layer. So similarly, at the center side, when this m1, this part is given to the next layer lower to it, it added its own header. And see, it is adding trailer also, okay. That I told you. Sometimes you want to add both header and trailers, that we will see where the situation arises. And similarly, this one also added its own header and trailer, okay. And together this is reached at the receiver. These things will be removed by the receiver after doing the processing, like what is being conveyed, that it will do, and then it will remove, and it will give back like this, okay. And from this it is removed, and finally this header 4 also removed, and we will get the original message. So this is a concept like source machine and destination. And this flow, what is happening at the sender side and what is happening at the receiver side, I just listed at the subsequent two slides. You just go through it, okay, just read it only. The same explanation I done here only. So information flow that is happening at the sender side, the message M is produced by an application process at layer 5, like what we just cross check with the example, and given to layer 4. Now layer 4 put its own header and hand over to layer 3, and header includes the control information. It can be address, or it can be something like many information I told you, right, something like that. So layer 4 on destination machine to deliver the message. So address I forgot to told you, the address is also something that is mainly coming in the header, okay. So by which we can identify the actual destination process or machine with which this is to be communicated. So other examples of the control information, it can be sequence number, the size, the time, okay. Simply for your understanding, I taken that encryption algorithm details, everything as an example. So you can put if you want to keep that ordering, you can add the sequence number where you are adding all these things. That is what is our header, okay. So all those additional control information you can put in the header, and you can mention the size of that particular packet in the header, the time at which it is being generated, timestamp, many such things we will add in the header. And we will see in detail header of some of the well-known protocol like the IPv4, TCP, and we will see those protocol with a very detailed look into their header. So that time it will be very clear for you. So in many networks, no limit is placed on the size of the messages transmitted in layer 4, but there is normally a limit for layer 3. So that is why the layer 3, the message is being splitted. Consequently, layer 3 must break up the incoming message into smaller units, because it is having some limitation for the maximum size of the information it can handle. If that is the case, okay, so it is going to divide it into small units. We can call it as a packet in general, but the name may be frame, segment at a different layer when it comes to a practical protocol that we will see later, depending on layer 3 header to each packet. So in this example, the M is divided into M1 and M2, and that will be transmitted separately, and layer 3 decides which of the outgoing line to use and passes it to layer 2, okay. Maybe the routing decision or the forward decision can happen at layer 3, whatever it is. So layer 2 adds a piece of each piece, not only the header but also the trailer, that is what we seen as that H2 T2, right, and gives the resulting into layer 1 for the physical transmission, okay. Similarly, okay, here I forgot to put animation. At the receiver side, the flow is like this. The receiving machine, the message moves upward from layer to layer with the headers being stripped off, and after removing header we are given to the higher layer. None of the headers for layers below n are passed to higher layer because everything is stripped off. Important thing to understand here is the relation between the virtual and the actual communication, like what we see. Actual communication is through the physical media only. Virtual communication is what is shown. The peer process in layer 4, for example, conceptually think that the communication is happening in the horizontal way, but actually it is happening vertically only, but it is getting such a conceptual or virtual view in that way, and the header and trailer is actually helping it to achieve it. Each one is likely to have procedures called the send to other side, get from other side. This could be some kind of methods that is being defined in the interface, maybe across that 3/4 interface, like that. This kind of what called abstract functions will be defined, and that will be called by the other layer. So the peer process abstraction is crucial to all network design. Abstraction in the sense that details should be hidden from the other layers. Using it, unmanageable task of designing the complete network can be broken into several smaller manageable design problem. So if you are looking at as a whole, it is something unmanageable for you, and now you are breaking, or you are applying the divide and conquer approach, where you have broken it into smaller manageable design problem, and you are implementing it differently, and that implementation details you are hiding, or you are providing an abstract view of it in the interface. Maybe at the interface you will be seeing something like this only, and by calling this will happen, that only you know, and how it is done, that is not known to you. So lower layers of the protocol hierarchy are frequently implemented in the hardware or firmware. Just you can note down, normally in lower layer it will be implemented in the hardware level or firmware, but complex algorithm of course involved even in the lower layer, like if you are looking at that CRC and all, it is normally done at data link layer, which is a layer 2, but some algorithm is complex algorithm is of course there, that you can encode, means implement as hardware code, or you can make use of software for it. Okay, mostly higher layers are software oriented, and lower layers are hardware oriented, or mix of both. Okay, that about it. I thought we can stop at this point, and further discussion we will see in subsequent lecture. Okay, thank you.